Peace and love, creatives. Today we are going to open up some Meiliang solid watercolors. It's a 52 set, and these were gifted to me by the company. They are a sister company of Paul Rubens, and I really do like Paul Rubens watercolors. I think they're very well made for the price. You can't beat it. So I was curious to see these watercolors. I've also seen Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, review them, and she's had nothing but positive words for these watercolors. I did purchase a smaller set when it was on sale. It was like a buy one, get one, and I have yet to open it, but I was curious to see the color difference between this larger set and the smaller set that I purchased. The swatch sheet is on their watercolor paper. Well, a Paul Rubens watercolor paper that's like glittery, so that's fun. And we're also given like a leaflet with all of the pigment information and opacity and light fastness. So I recommend holding on to that leaflet and not letting it go, because the only place you're going to find the pigment information other than there is on the wrappers. There's a lot of wrappers and it's messy, and the leaflet is a lot easier to contain. It also comes with this watercolor paper, and I was going to use my Arches watercolor for this swatching and for the testing, but I figured why not keep it all self-contained and just use the products that you were given. So that's what I'm going to end up doing in this video. One of the pans, the cakes that were in there, kind of like popped out, and I just pushed it back in. It's no big deal. Here I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not going to lose any pans in there, because they're kind of loose in the tin, but I haven't had an issue with it. It comes with a really nice water brush. It's smaller than your average size water brush as far as the length is concerned. It's a round, and it seems like it's like a size 6 round, so it's a nice size. And it comes with a fine liner and a B pencil. While I'm swatching the colors, I will let you know the colors that are available in this set. I will try to get through this without the puppies barking or making any noise, but I can't make any promises. First color is white. Lemon yellow's next. New Gamboge. Cadmium yellow medium. Permanent dark yellow. Nickel yellow. Orange. Permanent orange. Permanent orange red. Light cadmium red. Vermilion. Scarlet. Chinese red, permanent red, carmine, purple red, quinacridone rose, purple lake, violet, magenta, bright purple, deep purple, violet oxide, cobalt blue, ultramarine, Magnese blue nova, sky blue, Prussian blue, indigo, pain gray, sea blue, light turquoise, deep cobalt, turquoise, light cobalt turquoise, green yellow, lime green, permanent green, deep emerald, dark hooker green. I'm sorry that you can't see that bottom part. My apologies. Olive green, phthalo green blue, bright hooker green, natural yellow, light brown, fired gold ochre, Indian red, burnt umber, sepia, ivory black, coal black. And those are our regular colors, and that's how they look. And then you have a silver and a gold in this set. So here is everything swatched on the swatch card that was given to us. Also, if you would like a video of me doing a swatching, it's going to come eventually because these will be put in my watercolor catalog, and just look out for that. It's going to be a long time because I'm not up to these paints yet, but yeah. I was showing the texture of the paper on camera just to show you that there is really nice texture on this paper. It's not super rough, but it's a nice, I like texture on my watercolor paper. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do, but usually when I'm doing watercolor type paintings, I like a cold press, rough press kind of feel. So I set up my, I'm going to call them bookmarks because that's what I'm turning them into. I set up my bookmarks so that I can paint one, let it dry, move on to another one, and so on and so forth. I started from my left and worked my way over to my right because I'm right-handed, and it just makes more sense to not worry about any issues with that. In the one that I'm working on now, I was trying to mimic the Aurora Borealis, which I think is magical and majestic and just beautiful. I hope that I did it justice, but yeah, I had a lot of fun just playing around with these colors, and the way they danced on the paper on wet was really fun to play with. Here I wanted to make like a kind of like a gloomy, rainy type of moment where there's a ripple in the water, and that's why I started out with the page being like this. And then in the last one, I wanted a forest-like setting, and I started off with just covering the whole page with that beautiful olive green, and just continued to mix colors in with the olive green. I believe I ended up using, I want to say either the Payne's Gray or the Indigo to keep the colors a little bit more, a little darker and darker as I went on. While I'm using these paints and playing with them, I'm liking the consistency of the paint. I'm enjoying the colors that have multi-pigments, and their multi-pigments are just basically convenience colors, and the convenience colors that they have made for this set, I really like. I like the amount of greens that they've given us. And for the most part, I want to say we have about 3 greens. 1, 2. We have 2 greens with single pigments, and the rest have either 2 or 3 colors. Most of them are just 2. The olive green is 3 pigments, and it's perfect. It's a perfect olive green. I love it. It's really, really nice. I was thinking I was going to give this set away because I have the smaller set. But if the smaller set is missing some of these colors, I will probably hold on to this set. Here I kind of tried to put some stars onto the Aurora Borealis, and I wanted to get some colors in the taped zigzag bookmark that I made on the left-hand side. Here I ended up getting the white really, really wet, and I loaded my paintbrush with the white, and I just tapped my paintbrush onto the fine liner to get a couple of more white stars in the sky for the Aurora Borealis. My stars got on the silhouette of the landscape on the bottom, and I end up fixing it. Don't worry. Here I'm using the fine liner to get the ripples more pronounced. I would have liked a little bit of a smaller fine liner. I think this one is a 0.5, maybe a 0.3 would have been nicer, but it's a great fine liner. I have no issues with it. And here I'm just showing you my finish paintings, and I'm like, you know what? I really didn't showcase the fine liner, and I wanted to test it out to see if it was waterproof, because if you're going to do some line work and then go over that line work with watercolor, and this is why you're purchasing this set, you want to know that kind of stuff. So I ended up just making a quick bookmark with just using the fine liner and then painting over it. Now this piece, I just threw it all in. I'm like, if I make something really nice and it's not waterproof, I'm gonna have a disaster. It's going to be muddy. So I just kind of made it as simple as possible. I put the leaves in, and then I started painting. And to be honest with you, from when I started painting when I finished doing the line work to when I started painting, it wasn't even a minute that went by. I wanted to double check, so I ended up checking during my edit. I didn't wait at all, to be honest with you. Like, less than a minute is not waiting, in my opinion. So I started painting right away, and there was no lifting. There was no smudging. It was down and it was there. So I was really, really surprised. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that. Yeah, it's a great fine liner. I have no complaints about it. And then for the painting portion, all I really did was kind of like, I started with a darker green, and then as I went down, I added yellow to it, and just a nice little gradient. I embraced the mess, and it was just a test page to see how the fine liner was going to behave with the paint. I really like my final thoughts with this paint so far. From what I've used, there's no chalkiness. They re-wet fantastically. The fine liner, I probably would have gone with a 0.3 instead of a 0.5, but that's just nitpicking. That's just my preference. And the pencil is a pencil, and everything fits back into the tin. That's the end of my thoughts on this watercolor. I want to thank you so much for you taking the time to watch my videos, and I appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful day, night, morning, whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love.